everybody, and welcome back to another episode. It's starting to get a little bit cooler outside. The leaves are starting to fall. So today we're going to be talking about something near and dear to my heart, and that is coffee. But more specifically, pumpkin spice lattes. Before we begin, you don't need an espresso machine in order to make pumpkin coffee, but for a latte you will need an espresso machine. Alright, so before we get started, let's talk about two things that you absolutely have to make good coffee. If you have nothing else on this list, please use fresh ground coffee beans and filtered water. That is step one to getting coffee shop flavor out of your coffee. Now pick your coffee up, give them a few pats of encouragement, and we're ready to go. For your spice mix, you'll need 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. Now, over medium-low heat, add in 1 cup of whole milk. Don't use 1 or 2% here. It's going to help it froth a little better. Now you can just break up your spice mix as this heats up, and then we're going to add that into our pot. So once that's added in, you can stir that around a little bit. This is going to help the flavors diffuse into the milk, kind of like a tea, and I wish you guys could smell the kitchen right now. Now we're adding in 1.5 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. Don't use pumpkin pie filling because that already has spices in it. You want to use 100% pure pumpkin or pumpkin puree. Now be sure to constantly whisk this until it is completely dissolved into your milk mixture. Now let's talk about our equipment that we are going to need in order to make this latte. So first, you're going to need a coffee grinder because you promised me that you would use fresh ground coffee. You don't absolutely have to have the espresso machine, but you are going to need the coffee grinder. And you're just going to take your coffee beans and fill it up to the max line. This made 2 lattes and I had a little bit left over. Now you're just going to pulse this until your coffee grounds are extremely fine if you're using an espresso machine. If you're using a normal coffee maker, you are going to make this a little bit less fine so it tastes better. Espresso machines are designed to have really fine coffee, and that's what you need in order to make this, if you don't spill it on the counter like I did. And as you can see, this is how fine you need it to be. Espresso should be nice and fluffy, unlike ground coffee, which is kind of grainy. It's almost like powdered sugar in a way, but not quite there. Alright, so your espresso machine probably came with a bunch of knickknacks and tic-tacs that you don't want to deal with, so I'm going to explain that to you. First, we have the smaller coffee holder, which is a single shot of espresso, and then the larger one, which is a double shot. We are going to be using the double shot because that is going to fill up our glass better. So we're going to put 2 scoops into our coffee holder, and then we're just going to tamp that down with the other end of our spoon here. Now when you do this, you don't want to press down too hard, just a little bit, and then give it a nice twist. Be sure that your espresso machine has been preheated, and then you're going to lock your coffee in, and then you can pull your double shot of espresso. To pull a shot of espresso, turn the knob to the coffee setting, and then let the streams run until they begin to look a little bit clear, or until you have 2 ounces of coffee. Alright, so let's talk about how to froth your milk mixture. So once your espresso is done, you're going to take that off of the stove, and for a latte you want to have at least 8 ounces of milk to be frothing in order for it to be considered a latte. So some people use between 8 and 12, I probably used 8 here. The frother on my espresso machine is not the best in the world, but you could probably achieve better results with a French press, and it is a cheaper alternative, so if you have a little bit of money and some elbow grease, you can have frothed milk. Now let us assemble our latte. First you're going to pour in your espresso, then you're going to follow that up by adding in your milk mixture. You could also add in any extra sugar that you would like here. I probably added in a teaspoon, but the pumpkin is pretty sweet and it's going to have a little bit of sweetness, but add your desired sweetener here. Next, we are going to be topping this with a little bit of whipped cream because it would not be a pumpkin spice latte without some whipped cream on top. But it definitely wouldn't be a pumpkin spice latte if you didn't add a little bit of ground cinnamon to the top. So give your coffee a nice dusting and you're ready to go. Alright guys, let's taste test this pumpkin spice latte. Let me get some of this whipped cream off real quick. Alright, now that I've got the whipped cream off, we can actually taste the coffee. What can I say? It tastes like hoodie season. It tastes like fall. You got the nice nutmeg, cinnamon. The pumpkin definitely comes through. And I will say this, that the fresh ground coffee really does make this, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I always drink pre-ground coffee in the morning before school. It's quick and easy to just throw in my coffee maker and head on down the road. But if you have the time and put a little bit of effort into it, fresh ground coffee definitely overdoes the pre-ground stuff any day of the week. It tastes just like something you'd get from Starbucks. Actually, it tastes better than Starbucks. It's probably more comparable to like a local coffee shop that you'd go to. Really nice, rich flavors. It's very good. Highly recommend that you make this, guys. If you like this video and you'd like to see me make more things like this, hit that like button down below. Comment something that you want me to make, and I'll see you guys on the next one. One other thing, guys, before we go, I would like to say that I highly recommend Counterculture Coffee. This is a sustainable coffee company that's in my area. I'm not sponsored by them, but I do like their coffee, and this is the first bag that I've tried by them, but there is a coffee shop nearby that uses their coffee beans, and I highly recommend picking up a bag. This bag is currently in season, but it's pretty hard to get, and I really like the flavors that you get from it. But check out their website. They have a lot of different types of blends and different coffee beans from around the world that are sustainably sourced, and I highly recommend using these. I know that I already asked, but please subscribe to this channel. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers, and we will be doing a giveaway and special video once we hit that milestone. I hope you guys enjoy your pumpkin spice lattes, and I will see you on the next one.